guys, Shanna here. Welcome to my channel all about finding joy while living with autoimmune disease. I am so glad to have you here. Today I am sharing 15 tips for overcoming cravings. So part of the way I find joy while living with autoimmunity is eating clean. I eat according to the autoimmune protocol, AIP, but even if you're just trying to eat clean, these 15 tips for overcoming cravings can help you. So tip number 1, lean into the difficulty. Okay, so overcoming cravings is just hard. There's no way around it. You have to go through it, right? I have a dear friend who just started eating clean, and I got a text message from her last week, and it was all caps saying, "Clean eating is so freaking hard!" Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And I was like, oh, it is. And she's in that initial phase of overcoming cravings. And so this YouTube video and blog post was inspired by her. I love her so much. She's an inspiration and she is killing it. She's doing so good, overcoming those cravings. So anyway, lean into the difficulty. Tip number 1, lean into the difficulty. It's gonna be hard. I'm sorry, I wish it wasn't. I wish it was easier. With that said, there are some tips that can help you through that transition. So let's move on to the next tips. Tip number 2 for overcoming cravings, understand what's potentially causing the cravings. So our bodies can feel like the enemy, right? But really, there are reasons why our bodies crave those foods. And I am in the program to be a nutritional therapy practitioner. About halfway done, I'm loving it. It's through the Nutritional Therapy Association. And we did a whole module on the evolution of the modern diet. And I loved it because it addresses things that can cause our cravings, things like imbalances in our body, imbalances in our environment, imbalances in our gut microbiome, hyperpalatability, meaning most of the processed foods that dominate our food choices are designed for us to crave them. They have the combination of fat, sugar, and salt so that our bodies crave them. And so it really is important to understand that if we're experiencing cravings as we are used to, a standard American diet, that's normal. It's really normal. And so it will help as we try to break those cravings to understand, okay, this is not me going crazy. This is a normal process and I can get through it. I love this quote, and it was from the Evolution of the Modern Diet module that I studied. And it says, "We can retrain our palates to learn to enjoy and love simple foods again. By reducing intake of hyperpalatable foods and increasing our intake of whole foods, so decreasing processed foods and sugars, increasing real and whole foods, by doing those two things, whole foods in their minimally prepared forms, we can bring balance back to our appetite and our cravings." Awesome. Okay, so tip number 3, keep in mind that taste buds change and regenerate. So awesome. So another thing I learned in my nutrition program is we get a new set of taste buds every 21 days. I think that's pretty awesome. It does slow down as we get older, I think over the age of 40-ish. But that's pretty amazing. So keep in mind that as you are in this initial struggle to overcome these sugar cravings and processed food cravings and all your favorite junk foods, keep in mind that as you keep eating these real unprocessed whole foods, your taste buds will change and you will learn to love those foods. And I've experienced this. I noticed it took a few weeks, but my taste buds changed too. And I learned I eat very clean and I love it. I love I just appreciate all the taste so much more. So anyway, keep in mind taste buds change. So tip number 4, practice self-care for any withdrawal symptoms you may be experiencing. So our bodies, if they're used to eating sugar every day, if they're used to eating processed foods every day, if they're used to consuming caffeine every day, keep in mind that if you quit that cold turkey, you will feel it in your body. And it can be things like fatigue, headache, just feeling unwell. I know that, and you don't have to do it cold turkey. You can take a gradual approach. I was already off of caffeine. I'd given up my caffeine habit a year prior to when I hit rock bottom. So when I started the autoimmune protocol, I was just cutting out sugar and processed foods cold turkey, and I still had symptoms. I felt worse before I felt better. So just keep in mind to be aware of that and to practice self-care. Try to schedule some extra time to rest or do things that feel good to you. And tip number 5, reach out to a supportive friend or family member for support. So there's a saying, right? Birds of a feather flock together. So if your inner tribe, your inner circle of friends all eats the way that you are trying not to eat, you're going to probably need to look outside of that circle for, a friend or a family member who has some experience in clean eating, who's had experience in overcoming cravings, who can support you. If you don't know anybody like that, you can find an incredible support system online. There's tons of clean eating blogs. You can Google clean eating blogs. You can Google healthy living blogs. If you're on Instagram, you can search hashtags like eat clean, clean eats, healthy living, organic, holistic. So there's tons of resources online if you do not have the support you need in your circle. Okay, number 6, find healthy coping mechanisms if you need to. So some of us use sugar, junk food, processed foods, fast foods as a coping mechanism. When we're feeling certain emotions that are difficult, we turn to food to make us feel better. Guilty, I 100% was like that. I strongly do not recommend just getting rid of those coping mechanisms without replacing them with something healthy. That can cause a lot of stress and set you up for failure. So it's really important to find some healthy coping mechanisms, and they're different for everybody. It can be things like going for a run or getting out in nature, or like jamming to your favorite song, or slow dancing with your man, or laughing with your kids, or going and getting a pedicure. Like it looks different for everybody. So I encourage you to address any coping mechanisms that you need to. If you need to get professional help for any emotional trauma that you've been through, I highly recommend it. I've been there, I've done that. It wasn't the funnest thing to go through, but 100% worth it. And there's like no shame in that. Like we all have things that are very heavy and that are very difficult, and it's okay. And there are professionals who are so good at what they do who can help us get through those things. So, okay, number 7, learn about why healthy foods are good for you. So you can Google things like, why are sweet potatoes good for me? What are the nutritional benefits of eating blueberries? Like, why should I eat fish? Why is it important to eat healthy fats? What kind of healthy fats should I eat? Knowledge is power, right? Sometimes it's so helpful and empowering to know how this food that you're eating, and maybe you'd rather be eating fast food, or you'd rather be eating chocolate, or you'd rather be eating taquitos or ice cream or pizza, but knowing why this food is beneficial to you can be empowering. Maybe it's not going to be for you. I know it was for me though. Also, if you're transitioning your family over to clean eating, maybe you're just cooking dinners for everyone and it's going to be, healthier food, cleaner food, since you're trying to eat cleaner. You may have some resistance with your kids. What I found help is explaining to them why we're eating this way, why those foods help us. And you don't have to be a nutritionist. You can use Dr. Google to help you with the answers, and then personalize it to them. So explain to them like how eating these vegetables is going to help them be as healthy as they can be, so that they can go and have all the energy they need to play baseball or whatever it is they love to do. So anyways, personalize it and empower your kids and your family too. So number 8, on the flip side, learn about why sugar is harmful to our bodies. Learn about what the ingredients are in processed foods and why they are harmful to our health. So in order to do this, you have to start reading labels. You have to know what's going inside your food. Ideally, you want to avoid processed food, but if you need some ammo, like, okay, this is why I'm going to start eating clean. This is why I'm going to focus on the produce section when I'm grocery shopping. Read those labels of the packaged and processed foods. Read the labels of the foods that you're giving to your kids, and then Google those ingredients. It will shock you. So again, knowledge is power, and know what's in your food. A quote also from my nutrition program that I'm in that I love is this. Well, I don't really love this quote because it's like sickening to me, but it's important to know. Here are some of the most common harmful substances now found in and on many of the foods we eat: hormones, steroids, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, food additives such as MSG, preservatives, food colorings, artificial sweeteners, and fake fats. Food packaging introduces contamination from a variety of plastics such as BPA, BP5, or no, it's not 5, that's an S, BPS. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. BPS and genetically modified organisms, GMOs. So again, know what's in your food, know what's in your kids' foods, and that could give you ammo for overcoming those cravings. Like, maybe your body will still crave it, but knowing what's in it is gonna help you be like, shut up body, that is not good for you. Okay, number 9, clean out your pantry. None of us have superhuman strength, right? So if possible, get rid of all the foods in your pantry that you're addicted to, that you're craving. If you have loved ones that are like, that's great that you're doing this, but I don't want anything to do with this. I love those foods, like you do you, I do me. That's fine, like respect that, but maybe communicate and say, okay, babe, but I need those foods out of my line of sight. Can you hide them? Like, there's no shame in that, right? I don't think there is. Or can you put them in this area so that they're not in your line of sight all day, every day. Number 10, communicate with your loved ones. So this is kind of piggybacking off of the last tip. Make sure you have the hard conversation with your spouse or your loved ones. Tell them what your goals are. Tell them why you're doing this. Tell them what's important to you. Explain to them how they can support you and how they can help you. With that said, I highly encourage you not to try to change anybody else. Meaning a spouse or a loved one or a friend. Obviously, if you're the mama and you're making dinner, you can, control what your children eat. But as far as changing other people, it's hard enough to change who you are. I would not even worry about your spouse. Love him, respect him, support him, and hopefully he does the same for you. And chances are he's gonna see your example, and in time, he's gonna probably make little gradual changes and eat more like you do. Tip number 11, time it right. So you probably do not want to try to overcome your cravings if you're going on this big crazy summer vacation, or if you're moving, or if you have a big change of jobs or a stressful life event. Give yourself a break. You want to try to time this transition to clean eating. I mean, really, a lot of people may say there's no perfect time for it, and there's probably not. It's just going to be a transition, but try to keep other stress off when possible, and try to make time for self-care as much as possible. Number 12, find ways to manage stress. So chances are overcoming cravings and transitioning to clean eating may feel a little bit stressful. So you're going to want to be mindful of that and do things to kind of prevent and reduce stress. It could be things like, going for a run, cranking up some music, breathing, well, everybody breathes. I meant deep breathing. You should always breathe. Deep breathing or meditation, yoga, whatever helps you manage stress. It looks differently for all of us. What helps me manage stress may stress you out, and vice versa. So just do the things that help you feel relaxed. Tip number 13, remember to laugh and to find joy. Try to loosen up and have fun and relax, and remember that this is the beginning of hopefully a new lifestyle for you where you're free from your sugar cravings and you have more energy than you've ever had. It's exciting, right? Well, maybe when you're in the trenches in the beginning, it doesn't feel that exciting, but try to understand that this is the beginning of a new lifestyle for you, and you are killing it. You're doing awesome. Keep up the good work and give yourself credit. Okay, number 14, forgive yourself when you fall short. Oh, spoiler alert, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all fall down. We all get scraped up. We all have times that we want to quit. None of us is immune from that. And so when those times come, forgive yourself. It is okay to fall short. It is okay to fail, and it is okay to get scraped up and feel like you've been beaten down. It's part of life. But when that happens, you have to pick yourself back up, right? Don't let one mistake turn into a lifetime of mistakes. Don't find yourself a year from now, 2 years from now, a decade from now thinking, gosh, if I'd only stuck with that clean eating, if I'd only tried to keep overcoming those habits and those cravings. It's okay to fall short. Forgive yourself. Pick yourself up, lovingly dust yourself off, and just move forward. Just keep going. Last tip, number 15, last but certainly not least. This may be the most important one. Find your why and cling to it. So I know that's very cliche, but it's very important. So ask yourself, why am I trying to eat like this? Why am I trying to overcome sugar cravings? Why am I breaking these bad eating habits? Why do I want this new lifestyle? Think about it. Write down your answers. Remind yourself of your answers. Your why is going to be what gets you through when you're at a party and everybody else is eating, you know, pizza and ice cream and cake and chips and all the things, and you're sitting there like wanting to eat those things, but you made a commitment to yourself that you were going to eat clean, that you were going to, you know, stay strong and break those habits. And really, it's easy to say, oh, but it's just one party. Oh, but it's just one whatever. I don't know about you, but those things come up all the time for my family and I. There is always just one party, or just one date night, or just one weekend away, or just one birthday. Well, everybody we know has birthdays. So if I make a birthday as an excuse to stop eating clean, well, number one, for me, it's my health because I have autoimmunity, but also like I'm breaking promises to myself, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep my promises. And so I'm not saying you have to do what I do and eat clean 100% of the time. Like seriously, we're all bio individualities. Like you do whatever you feel inspired. And if it's taking one baby step to drink one less soda a day, or to eat one less, you know, sugary thing a week, like whatever you're doing, like go you, like celebrate that. But if, you know, if your goal is to eat clean and to change your lifestyle drastically, then you really want to be mindful of those excuses, of those birthday parties and those holiday get-togethers and those family things, because there's, at least the ones we go to, there's always foods that would physically make me sick, and I have to be mindful of that. So having your why, finding your why and clinging to it is going to help get you through that. So when I'm at a party and I see all these things, it doesn't tempt me anymore at all, but in the beginning when it did, I would think about my why. And part of my why is remembering what it felt like to not be able to go to my son's baseball games and cheer him on. And I don't want any mama to feel like that. And so again, the way I eat has a drastic effect on how I feel with my autoimmunity. And so I cling to that why, and that why helps me not even touch or think about touching any of those foods. So I hope these 15 tips for overcoming cravings helped. Please know I am like cheering you on so loud. I am here for you to support you. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you liked this, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any experience with tips for overcoming cravings, anything that worked for you, please comment and let us know. I so appreciate it. And if you liked this, please subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every Thursday, and I share because I just love you guys. So thank you so much for all the love and support, and I hope you guys have an awesome week.